Hi, I'm Andrew Alexander Jayaswito and I'm from LB66 and today I want to talk about flood. Many of us have this idea that floods or flooding is simply too much water around house. People think that can be fun, but it's wrong. Flooding is a lot more than that. Flooding is extremely dangerous and has the potential to wipe away an entire city, coastline, or area and cause extensive damage to life and property. It also has great erosive power and can be extremely destructive even if it is a foot high. Okay, now I want to talk what is a flood. Flood it is a natural event or occurrence where a piece of land or area that is usually dry land suddenly gets submerged underwater. Some floods can occur suddenly and recede quickly. Others take days or even months to build and discharge. When floods happen in an area that people live, the water carries along objects like houses, bridges, cars, furniture, and even people. It can wipe away farms, trees, and many more heavy items. Floods occurs at irregular intervals and vary in size, duration, and the affected area. It is important to note that water naturally flows from high areas to low-lying areas. This means low-lying areas may flood quickly before it begins to get to higher ground. Okay, and today I want to talk too about uh, what causes flooding, some effects of flood, and what we can do to prevent it. What causes flooding? And I have a few events that can cause flooding. First, it is rains. Each time there are more rains than the drainage system can take, there can be floods. Sometimes there is heavy rain for a very short period that result in floods. In other times, they may be light rain for many days and weeks and can also result in floods. Second is river overflow. Rivers can overflow their banks to cause flooding. This happens when there is more water upstream than usual and as it flows downstream to adjacent low-lying areas and also called a floodplain. There is a burst and water gets into the land. And last reason is strong winds in coastal areas. Seawater can be carried by massive winds and hurricanes onto dry coastal lands and cause flooding. Sometimes this is made worse if the winds carry rains themselves. Sometimes water from the sea resulting from a tsunami can flow inland to cause damage. And now I want to talk what is the effect of flooding. Flood can have devastating consequences and can have effects on the economy, environment, and people. First, I want to talk about economy. During floods, especially flash floods, roads, bridge, farm, houses, and automobiles are destroyed. People become homeless. Additionally, the government deploys firemen, police, and other emergency apparatus to help the affected. All these come at a heavy cost to people and the government. It usually takes years for affected communities to be rebuilt and business to come back to normalcy. And second one is environment. The environment also suffers when flood happen. Chemicals and other hazard substances end up in the water and eventually contaminate the water bodies that flood end up in. In 2011, a huge tsunami hit Japan and seawater flooded a part of coastline. The flooding caused massive leakage in nuclear plants and has since caused high radiation in that area. Authorities in Japan fear that Fukushima radiation levels are 18 times higher than even thought. Additionally, flooding kills animals and other insects are introduced to affected areas, distorting the natural balance of the ecosystem. Third is people and animals. Many people and animals have died in flash floods. Many more are injured and others made homeless. Water supply and electricity are disrupted and people struggle and suffer as a result. In addition to this, flooding brings a lot of diseases and infections including military fever, pneumonic plague, dermatopathia and dysentery. Sometimes insects and snakes make their ways to the area and cause a lot of havoc. But there is also something good about floods, especially those that occur in floodplains and farm fields. Floodwaters carry lots of nutrient that are deposited in the plains. Farmers love such soils as they are perfect for cultivating some kinds of crops. And the last one I want to talk is the methods that how we can prevent flood. First is sea or coastal defense walls. Sea walls and tide gates have been built in some places to prevent tidal wave from pushing the waters upshore. In some areas too, sandbags are made and placed in strategic area to retain flood waters. The second one is town planning. It is important that builders acquire permission before a building are erected. This will ensure that waterways are not blocked. Also, drainage system must be covered and kept free from objects that choke them. This way, water can quickly run through if it rains and minimize any chance of town flooding. Drainage system should also be configured to prevent water from getting into them. And last one is the vegetation. Trees, shrubs, and grass help protect the land from erosion by moving water. People in low-lying areas must be encouraged to use a lot vegetation to help break the power of moving flood water and also help reduce erosion. Okay, this is the end of my presentation and thank you for watching. Bye.